Ha. Let's see. See what's going on real quick. Go to my channel. That's me right there looking crazy in the mud. See? Ha! Cool. Put on some music real quick, man. Waiting on O to show up in the building. Waiting on brother Oh God to show up in the build. While that's on, man, put on some Most Def, Black on Both Sides. Let's see. There you go. Yes. I start to sing, and then I sink into the paper. Like I was saying, when I'm right and I'm when I finish the crime, I start to sing, and then I sink into the paper. Like I was saying, when I'm right and I'm trapped in between the nine, when I finish, he was in love when he made me. What up, man?
What up, man? You started?
Yeah, man. I had to put on some. I put on some Most Def, man.
All right, cool.
You hear that? Hear what it's playing?
Yeah, I hear it.
That's that love, man. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So, but man, what's funny, man? All right, so I guess when I decided, I was like, man, let's fuck it. We need to go live. I was saying about this yesterday. We were talking about societal genocide. It's when I figured I came up with that term. Right. Societal genocide. And it was about, we were having a conversation and it was talking about how the IQ, financial insecurity drops your IQ by 10 points. Whew. So if you think, what's happening? What's happening? Queen, I know who I am. Shalom. Yeah, so if you imagine, man, if we kept in, and that's just at a minimum, that's like they did a study, and it was amongst a bunch of farmers, and so they tested farmers at the beginning of the season, and that as the season progressed, as their supplies began to run out. What's up, Kansu?
Yo, what's up?
Yeah, chilling, man. Having the same conversation, man. That I'm gonna be putting on for Blurred. Talking about how shit dropped 10 points.
All right.
Minor. I'm because man, he was like, man, I'm still tripping on that shit, man. How is it, man, that motherfucking IQ just dropped that quick? That's just crazy, man.
Oh wow.
And if you kept that's like China is trying to keep their IQ, they're trying to raise their IQ by 5 points on average. And they've been doing this through their genocidal program that they've been running since Mao. Right. So if you think about it, man, if they raise the average, even they bum, if they raise the bum's IQ by 5 points, the bum is going to be making better decisions as a whole, financially, as far as how they use resources. And that's what's scary, man. Is we kept in a perpetual state of once you make worse, you make poor decisions. As you make those poor decisions, that they get worse and worse and worse. Then your IQ then drops. So we looking probably there's some cats in the hood, man. Probably just because they in a state of perpetual insecurity, man, the IQ is probably down 20, 30 points, man. That takes you from being average, someone average to moderate intelligence, man, is somebody who's special.
Yeah, I'm trying. I just popped in, so I'm out of the loop. I don't even know.
Yeah,
what the conversation is consistent of, so I don't want to jump in on a tangent.
It just dropped. Yeah, the stream just dropped.
Yeah.
Yeah, we pretty much just started.
Yeah, we just started, man.
Oh, okay. Yeah, so just bring me up to speed because I don't know what. And what up, Bo?
Hey, how you been, bro?
I'm good, man.
Awesome.
It said the stream just dropped.
No, it says live for me.
Oh, it does? Okay.
Yeah, it says live. Yeah.
All right, right on. Well, cool, man.
Yeah, man. I mean, I don't know much about that whole thing, but I don't know why it sent me into a little depression yesterday when you told me that, man. I'm like, man, that's kind of crazy, you know, just to see that they really, you know, got those type of things in place, man. Like really trying to manipulate things like that. It's sad,
Mm-hmm.
you know.
My question is, how do we as black men, man, how can we help overcome that? How can we beat that, man? I mean, 10 points at a time, man. That's a lot, man.
Yeah. Now you
As a
say like,
whole, man.
you saying pretty much that it's going to affect this decision making.
Yeah. Think about your IQ. Your IQ, man, is how you make decisions, man. It's how you solve problems. A lot of people think IQ is bullshit. You know, you think so, Queen? I know who I am. She says artificial intelligence is running the world. Computers, people are dumbed down. Yeah, then we dumb down even worse, then.
Right.
Well, you know, I don't know, man. Understanding how to learn and how to think, more so than what to learn and what to think, would be the prerequisite. And there's always been a skill in being taught, you know, knowledge and then processing the knowledge and then producing rhetoric, whether it be written or spoken rhetoric. So there is a traditional way to teach and learn. Now, I don't know. It remains to be seen if this is going to really start affecting us as IQs are dropping, because IQs can be affected by environment and resources to a great deal.
Yeah, I mean, apparently, shit, that's what the study said.
Yeah.
So you saying what can we do?
Yeah, what can we do? What can we do? You think it's anything we could do, man? Do you think they say by 2049, the black wealth net worth on average will be 0?
Wow.
Well,
did you know that?
Wait, how you feel about that, Consul?
I mean, that's a tough situation because it's a lot of the things that we talk about, like race, that's pretty much a fallacy. And racism is a psychological disorder. So we have to address things at the core. So what's probably going to have to happen, I mean, we have to kind of address the issue of race and identity politics that exist among blacks, particularly blacks in Northern America. Just the term black is not a universal term. I mean, it's really indicative to Northern America because a lot of people in Southern America, Central Africa don't identify with the word black, at least not when describing themselves. So we use a lot of colloquial terms in light of endearment due to our civil unrest and the social political movements. So the political theory and the political science behind why we use certain words is why we're starting to get into fields like ethnoscience and things like that, because scientific things are perceived differently by different cultures. So we have to really start doing a cultural assessment and deal with the identity politics, I think, when it comes to diasporatic Africans. Because each of us, even though we're African by descendancy, us three, we take on, you know, wealthy Anglo-Saxon Protestants and a lot of their mannerisms. We eat like them, we dress like them. We pretty much, that's who we are. And we have African descendancy because we come from Africa, but we're American Africans. So we have to deal with those identity politics, man.
AVOS, man.
So what do y'all think? You know, not to get too far off the subject. I know this is a great, you know, subject, but the kind of the Michael Jackson situation, man, with the media. You know what I'm saying? How do y'all brothers? You know what I'm saying? I haven't heard y'all. You know, we haven't talked in a while. How do y'all feel about that, man? Y'all brothers a little bit older than me, so y'all kind of been around when Michael's a young man, and y'all came up and y'all seen that whole situation. How do y'all feel about the Michael Jackson? How he's being portrayed in the media?
I think straight bullshit, man. You know, that's what I was telling my wife, man. I think that Michael Jackson did not have a childhood. And I think that he loved children. He's somebody who genuinely loved children. and he loved them so much that he wanted them to experience the best childhood experience they could have. So he had a Disney World at the crib, you know. And so if a kid came, he wanted the kid to be like, to really enjoy what a sleepover was supposed to be about, what he imagined a sleepover to be, what he, you know, this is, I think that's, you know, however warped it was, I think that he really, you know, he never did anything to any child, man, but love them.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I think his love, you know, and it's so, because we live in such a hateful society. You know what I'm saying? What's up, Matt here? Because we live in such a hateful society, man. And anything that he would do would automatically, you know, is going to be seen as nefarious, man.
Well, you know, I mean, fairly speaking, I really can't say because I love Michael Jackson. I grew up listening to Michael Jackson. But Michael Jackson dead, man. And I'm not going to try to speak for a dead man. When he was alive, he said he didn't do nothing. He went to court. He defended himself. According to the law, he beat the case. And I'm going to leave it like that. These cats that's talking about Michael Jackson, those are propagandists. They're opportunists, and they're trying to make money off of the moniker of Michael Jackson. If you are that weak-minded to let somebody tell you about somebody that's dead, that is irrelevant. Unfortunately, Michael Jackson is a legend. He's irrelevant to what goes on today. We should be worried about the black poverty and the prison industrial complex, how we being criminalized under the 13th Amendment, some real shit. Talking about some fairy tale shit like Michael Jackson.
Oh, Kelly's bullshit.
Yeah, but keep with that though. I'm gonna ask you about this. I don't know if you've seen this though, Consul. Meek Mill, Robert Kraft, a whole bunch of other billionaires now got a justice reform, you know, initiative. That it's a movement actually. You know, they got a lot of billionaires behind it. Also, Meek Mill put out. He's teaming up with Amazon and put out a little docuseries. You know what I mean? Kind of detailing his life and what he went through, you know, in the prison industrial complex. Do you see that? How do you feel about that movement right there? Is that a step in the right direction?
Hell yeah, that's relevant. Because Meek Mill is a byproduct of the criminal system. I mean, we were told we were free, but we weren't. We just switched social political classifications. We went from slaves to criminals. So when you run a stop sign, now you're a criminal because you get a ticket. So they put a bond on your name, and now you got a criminal record, period. I mean, in Cook County alone, man, 69% of black men are incarcerated. 69%. We talking about black men in the second largest county in the country, and 69% of them are incarcerated. So Meek Mill is far more important to me than talking about Michael Jackson, who's got $1 billion estate. The children took care of family straight. The man put his work in. He a legend, man. Thanks. You ain't gonna never be able to turn as Michael Jackson. Nice try. But Meek Mill is the future. I mean, I look at Meek Mill as something that we should be addressing because it speaks to what's going on with these young folks and young adults today. And they being hunted like animals, man. And the worst way, because they being lynched politically. They being lynched with pieces of paper and pens. It's worse than the whip. Because somebody can take a pen and write it off in Congress and lynch you, man. Take you from your children, take your, you know, if you owe child support, black men, 60% of black men in America owe child support. That means you can get your license taken, you can get a warrant for your arrest. That makes absolutely, you got child support. Man. That's ridiculous, man. You can't even get a job if you owe child support. You can't leave the country. You can't get a professional license. What
Yeah.
So yeah, man, I'm glad. I'm proud of Meek, man. I think it's you know, I support him 110. That is something I prioritize, bro.
And I think a lot of people, I'm gonna let you go there in a second. A lot of people, man, they don't look at the value of it. Even like cats like Jay-Z, with his lyrics now. It's a song called "What's Free," and he's talking about all that in his song. Like, it's different now, man. You got your nigga rappers, but you got people who are now woke and now really starting to put their money, you know, behind real movement. So I definitely, you know, we always talk about that type of stuff on our program, but I think it's real good, man, that they're doing that, man. Definitely. But go ahead, Darren. How you feel about that, bro?
Well, I mean, the whole prison reform, man. I mean, that's man, yeah, that's much more important than Mike, man. But it's almost one and the same. It's still the same time, man. We're still it's a it's a lynching by society, societal genocide. You know what I'm saying? Does that make sense? What I'm saying, lynching by society.
Oh yeah, I get you.
So it's no matter what, it's still a form of societal genocide, man. We put in a perpetual state of genocide, man, and it's like by the pressures of society, man. Like they're trying to grind us into nothing, man, into dust.
Hell yeah.
Little by little.
Oh man, sidebar, man. Screw Oprah Winfrey. Screw Gayle King and all of them.
Yeah.
Say it again.
Screw Lee Daniels, Oprah Winfrey, Gayle King.
Yeah, man. I was off Oprah, man, when she opened up a school in Africa, man.
Yeah, she
should have got with Umar.
Harvey Weinstein, her best friend, and she ain't mentioned that dude's name once.
Nope.
Not once. Harvey Weinstein got more than 10 counts of sexual abuse. He's going to court right now. Not one mention. Not one. Kevin Spacey just got indicted.
Bryan Singer. I mean, we go down the list, man.
Go down the list. Andy Warhol, Woody Allen, marrying his own daughter.
Elvis.
Yeah. Right. Elvis. Jerry Lee Lewis. Go dig this shit up.
You know what I'm saying? Jimmy Swagger. You know what I mean?
He go there. Right. He
feel
spraying on.
How do y'all feel, man? How do y'all feel about Black people's state in America, man? Is there any hope at this point? How do y'all feel about that? Because like everywhere you look, it's just like, you know, it's just like everything is seems like it's just falling apart, man. Whether you talk about anybody, any industry, like Dr. Wells talks about, entertainment, labor law, politics. Everywhere you look, man, we getting the shit end of the stick. How y'all feel about that?
Shit, societal genocide, man. I mean, we can't, you know, it's every day, man. It's a fight, man.
I think we're starting to argue about things that are more precise. It's good to see movements like ADOS, Pan-Africanism is being revised. I mean, it's good to see that we're becoming progressive.
Yeah.
It is good to see that. I do see a positive change.
You know, would you say that's a talented 10th? Or would you go to the point where it started to move to the 20th, 30th, 40th percentile?
Yeah, it's getting into that 20, 30, 40 percentile because, I mean, we starting to look at the scamming in college. Our children are being directed and looking at things more technically. They're actually more intelligent than we were in their era. So they have access to so many things. And now it's really our opportunity as elders to really guide our children. We got a lot of peripherals. We got a lot more advantages than our parents did. You know what I'm saying? Because we have an opportunity to change the lineage of our families. Because we're starting to understand that even though we want a Black unified front, we really got to focus on each of our families and reach one, teach one, man. It's real important. And we're starting to see that. So it's looking good, man. It's some rough things going on, but we okay. I think we're gonna be okay.
They say it takes 3 generations, man, to create a career. Have you heard that term before?
Yeah.
3 generations, man, to create a career, man. And I think, if you look at it like my parents went to graduate school and they wanted me to be an attorney. You know, I ended up going to graduate school. I didn't end up being an attorney with my son. You know, he's on that track, man, where we got him in front of lawyers. You know, where he's going and he's taking law classes at school, man, and he's getting all the skill set. So, and that's 3 generations, man. We got a lawyer, man. We got a lawyer or a judge. I mean, that's what I'm thinking, man.
Yes, sir. That's how general works. I mean, if we're gonna actually be the kings, we say we are. You know, I do think it's a Black male renaissance. Oh God, I do think that, bro.
Yeah.
I think that the responsibility really is on Black men. I think we got a serious step up that we got to step up. Real talk, collectively.
Yeah, I definitely agree that 100%, man.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So, whoo, yeah, good conversation, man.
Yeah, this conversation we be having, man. And I finally I was like, fuck it, let's go live, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't know what was happening.
You know, talking about societal genocide, man.
Right. So yeah,
Like,
what I was gonna ask y'all. Damn, I forgot what I was gonna ask y'all about something else. Hopefully, I remember before we go off.
nah, shit.
Yeah,
Man, so what's up? What's up on the business front, man? How everybody doing on business front, man?
Oh,
Still
man.
winning?
I'm very fortunate. That's all I can say, man. I'm fortunate, but it's hard work, and I appreciate it.
Yeah.
I appreciate the hard work, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
Same here,
appreciate it.
man. I'm in a blessed position. You know, I'm just happy to be in a position. But there's always more. I'm never satisfied, you know.
Yeah. Like I'm greedy. You know, they're going to say, "I bless me indeed, enlarge my territory."
Man,
Yeah.
for real.
You know, if people don't look, they look at that prayer, man. That's the prayer of Jabez, and if people look at that prayer as a prayer like towards wanting to be like wealthy or be in abundance. But really, man, it's a prayer to be a better administrator.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It's like enlarge my territory so I can better administrate. I believe I can better administrate these assets than anyone else, and I can ensure that more people have them.
Mm-hmm.
You have respect for the wealthy, man, the ones that are actually involved in the community. You know, the ones that they are actually putting something back in the community, man.
No doubt.
The developers, you know, the power.
Yeah, because I think that, I try to really focus when I do speak to the youth and young adults. I try to focus on the ability to be intelligent and the ability to learn and the ability to think. Because a lot of times when you're under a lot of pressure and your environment is not a healthy environment, it's hard to really take time to process what type of information you're being subjugated to. And a lot of times we take a lot of general raw data and we collect it, but we have a bias, whether it be hereditary. We're all influenced by somebody pragmatic in our lives. And sometimes it's to our detriment. It can be our parents, uncle, grandparent. It can be somebody that created a traditional ethnic problem. And we have a misunderstanding between ethnicity and race. Those are two separate situations. And we're conflating the two a lot of times because we kind of have a fallacy of etymology. We kind of have a false dichotomy fallacy where we think things are just black and white. There's no gray area to address. And so a lot of times when we deal with things that false dichotomy, we're not prepared for the challenges of the world. And really we're not adept at problem solving. And we don't have the patience and the drive to fight through a lot of disappointments. When disappointments is what builds character, we got to be willing. When you really love something, man, you may not have the ability, but if you got the knowledge and the skill, you can accomplish it. You know, you could be Steve Kerr. Steve Kerr ain't the best basketball player, but ask him how many rings he got. You know what I'm saying? Ask him how many championships the man got. So his ability may have been limited, but his skill and his knowledge, his drive, carried him beyond his ability. And that's what we have to look at. We have to look at things like that, man, enableable skills. Now, all of us have. Knowledge and skill can be expanded. It's limitless.
Imagine how limitless it is when you have access to resources.
Oh, man.
You see what I'm saying? Again, so that affects, as we go back to that societal genocide, man, where it affects.
Yes.
That 10-point drop in decision making. I mean, even though people say the IQ test is bunk, it's got some kind of merit. Somewhere. You know what I'm saying? I mean, somebody sees it somewhere, man. You can't tell me we say,
No, the IQ test is accurate, I think. I'm always had a problem with the bell curve.
Yeah.
With the whole elitist kind of. But other than that, hell yeah, the IQ is important.
You know what's crazy, man? How my wife's a teacher, man, and she was talking about, man, like some of the stuff that she experiences, man, some of the stuff she sees with our kids, man. It lets me know that IQ thing is true, man.
Really?
We had that conversation, man. Yeah, about some of the type, some kids that the parents. These are parents who were special ed parents, and they were special ed parent childhood sweethearts, and they have children.
Really?
Yep.
Wow.
Right there, boom, you just drop IQ again.
What'd your wife feel about the teacher? I know y'all seen that in Connecticut. You see the teacher in the store?
What happened?
It was a black guy holding the phone. It was a teacher. She had her 2 daughters. I'll send y'all the video in a second. She called her a nigger and spit. Called him a nigger and spit. Yeah, I can't believe y'all missed that.
What?
Yeah.
Wow. Let me say this every time. What?
Yeah, man.
He walking and talking?
Wow. It was in a supermarket. And she had her kids, and I guess the black guy, I don't know what happened, but the guy had the phone on the white lady. She called him a nigger and then spit at him like twice. Yeah, she turned out to be a teacher in New Haven, Connecticut. Yeah, if you look it up right now.
Probably the black school, probably Title I district too.
Probably New Haven. I mean, yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
See, that's comfortability. That's you comfortable.
It's man. I went on to do a lot of schooling, man. But I hated school from 2nd grade, man, because my 2nd grade teacher, Miss Coffee.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. Yeah, she said me and 2 other black boys, man, in the office damn near every day, man. It was either in the office or out in the hallway. You know what I'm saying? An officer in the hallway, man. And I never did nothing wrong, man. You know what I'm saying? You know, I got too many ass whoopers, man, to make sure that I wasn't gonna do that right. I wasn't gonna mess up.
Certain aspects of education is an institution. I mean, the schools are an institution. And a lot of times, if you don't have the reinforcement of a home structure, school can be detrimental to your scope. Because school can condition and create, subjugated employees.
That's what it's meant to do, man.
It doesn't really promote liberalism. One subject matter I think that should be taught in grade school is the trivium. I think that the several liberal arts, trivium and quadrivium, should be taught and learning how to process information. It shouldn't be taught in advanced college. It really shouldn't, because a lot of our children are institutionalized. You got to think their parents literally use the school as a nanny service, a babysitting service.
Yep.
None of the education is reinforced at home. The parents don't go and talk with the teachers to understand the curriculum, so the curriculum can be extended into the home. So it's kind of, it's an unfortunate situation with some parents in some homes that education isn't reinforced properly. And, we've had that dichotomy since we had the W.B. Du Bois versus Carter G. Woodson, the talented 10. We've had that argument within our culture for a few hundred years now, that when a black person is intelligent or they speak articulate, they're sellout. They're talking and acting white. And we've had that inner problem between light-skinned, dark-skinned blacks for the longest. It's really kept us apart. Even in education, that's been the biggest problem. If you black and you talk articulately, you ostracize in the black community.
This is what I wanted to say. That's all I wanted to ask y'all. Did y'all hear about Jay Morrison?
Yeah, what about him?
Oh yes, brother.
Did y'all hear about the Securities Exchange Commission now is looking into his practices? Yeah,
I bet, man. Yeah.
Well, look what he did. Look what he did.
It was doomed to happen, man.
It was gonna happen.
Really? So speak on it, because I don't really know. Like, is it? I don't want to just come out. Is it a scam or what's going on? What do y'all think about that?
It's impossible to manage, man. A real estate investment trust, man. Usually, whenever you have something like that, a real estate investment trust, you need to have accredited investors. Yeah. Meaning, an accredited investor basically is somebody who got money. And whenever you deal with somebody with small money, you always run the risk of administration of funds, because you're getting small amounts of money. Just from an accounting standpoint, there will be an error unless you have double and triple and quadruple checks.
Yes.
Which is why you have the accredited investor rule. This person is considered an investor that knows that knows the risk of investors, because they were able to get their money they were able to grow their wealth to a certain point. So they were sophisticated enough.
And I'm a private financier. That's what I do. I'm a financial consultant as well. And You know, I talk about this all the time. I mean, trying to build a REIT that the brother's talking about, Darren is talking about. You know, look at the McDonald's Corporation. That's probably one of the most successful real estate investment trust companies that's out there. Walmart is a close second.
Catholic Church.
Yeah, you got to have verified capital that is sequestered in a non-interest bearing receptacle, basically a non-interest bearing bank. And what Jay Morrison does wrong is he's soliciting tax money. You can't do that. And he's trying to make it convenient to the commoner. You cannot do that.
You can't do that, man. Small money always wrong.
You cannot. Anybody in finance, Darren knows it, anybody, you don't do that, man. And that's the problem with our people not willing to meet compliance and go the extra mile. You can't take the shortcut, Jay. You can't say you was a hustler. He really tries to be an alter ego of Jay-Z. You can't do it. Jay-Z meets compliance. Best believe Jay-Z has money that he is being paid to.
Yeah.
He's just not this boss. Jay-Z is an employee. So he makes sure that his taxes are accountable for. And in America, we pay taxes and we file taxes. So you got to know how to set up a proper veiling system. Or if they pierce the veil, here comes the SEC. Here comes.
Now, can you explain what he's doing wrong or trying to cut corners on for the lay person who don't understand all that, you know, the financial talk? Could you explain that briefly?
Yeah, he's not sequestering what he's taking home in the form, and Darren can break it down too.
Yeah,
his withholding income, his withholding tax is conflating with his tax that's being written off, and so he's reporting what he's making a year, and either his schedule A, B, or C is conflicting with how he's filing. 9 times out of 10, he's either not filing properly, or someone in his REIT is not filing a 1040 properly or a 1099 properly.
Yeah. So whenever the people bring in rent, they bring in rent payments, which is income, then that's a payout. That's like a dividend. And so that dividend, those dividends are either rolled back in to the real estate investment trust or they're paid out. So you need to have someone that's overseeing that from a compliance standpoint to make sure that those funds are distributed appropriately. If someone wants to, if you, like the three of us, let's say we all decide to take our fund. Let's say I decide to take a dividend. You decide to roll yours back in. Half of your counsel decides to keep his out, and he pulls it back in. All of that needs to be accounted for. And when you have black folks who are not black folks, are just small investors, people who are putting $500 in there, man. Dog, you get somebody, man, is gathering together $500, man. They scraping it together to put it in something. What happens when they say, "Oh man, I need to get this money out"? Now they got to take this money out. Now they're gonna run the risk of taking a loss. Now, if this person who got $500, a little funky $500, they're gonna look and say, "Man, wait a minute, how come I get back $450?" Then all it takes is one person to explain that incorrectly. Then that person, they can call in the state, the SEC, the federal government, and then that will shut everything down, man. That's why you only deal with sophisticated investors.
That's right. That's right. You have to set up a lot of, you have to set up what are called clubs. Call them clubs. But they're basically holding companies. And those holding companies have to have a finite set of subsidiaries. And then those subsidiaries and holding companies in tandem have to have DBA accounts, in which those accounts then have to be sequestered. Most of the time, when you have large REITs, like the one he tried to do in Oklahoma, because that's what got him nailed, you kind of want offshore receptacles, like Cayman Islands, Canada, things of that nature, where the money is not sequestered as United States capital. When it's United States tender, you have to be very careful because you get usury problems, and you get problems with not registering and being compliant and being transparent to how much money you got coming in. So when you got a bunch of investors and they don't have a bond, you got to establish a bond. You got to set up a bond with the SEC. You got to meet compliance, which means that you got to register every like 3 times a year on average. They're not doing that because he's soliciting the public. So that means that he can't control what those people that are investing doing at home, because they may be filling out W-9s. You can't be an investor in a REIT and you got a W-9, a W-4, and a W-2. That's not indicative to that REIT.
What's the management cost going to be? That's one of the management costs. When you have something with that, your management costs are skyrocketing, man. Because it's an hour. Every time somebody has to calculate that something, there's an hourly rate against that CPA. They charge by the hour, man.
And then you know what he did, Darren, when I was looking at that, it's funny you mentioned, oh God, the National Football League Players Association sent out a warning not to mess with this guy because there's an exclusivity contract when it comes to investment with their players. Now, he should have known that. You cannot take an NFL player's check and invest it without clearance from the NFL. It's a program that they instilled because a lot of players go broke after 3 years in the NFL because the average life of an NFL player is 4 years, unless you're a star and you get contract incentives and you get extended. Most running backs don't last but 2 to 3 years in the NFL. Yeah. You have your elite ones that last. But the NFL is a really tough job. So their health programs and things of that nature, the NFL started getting sued. You know, if you guys remember Gene Upshaw, you know, he was really pushing the fact that NFL players had a very bad health program. So when you got somebody like Jay Morrison that's telling you to invest in basically something that appears to be an IRA, because that's how he sells it to certain people. No.
See, to certain people, man, he's too small to be. Look, I'm sitting here getting hyped, man, because I know, man.
Yeah, I've been through this.
I know, man. I've been through the fire, man.
I've been
through the fire and been burnt, man.
Woo, man,
I've been through the fire, man. I've been like Kid Icarus, man. I flew too close to the sun, man, and got my wings.
All it took was one time for me, bro. They came to my house and sat at my table.
Yeah, man.
All that I'm not playing.
Man. Yeah, they don't play, man. They don't be bullshitting about that, man.
No, you got to set up things like SERPs. You got to set up 401bs. You got to set up 401ks. You got to really know how to allocate those funds. You got to set up nonprofits. You got to set up grants where one company converts that money into a grant. You can't be taking cold hard cash from citizens of the United States. You violating the 14th Amendment. They come. You can't do it. That's why we're very particular as Black entrepreneurs. Every time that I have a contract with somebody, I put a UCC1 clause in. Because if I have to sue you, I'm going to write you off and I'll take you to court. I'll sue you through the SEC. I'll put it on your credit because I do not want to deal with nobody else's money sitting in my bank account. That's an FDIC federal receptacle. It's a federal enclave. Actually, the account don't belong to you. Anything over 5,000, they flag it. So your money is your money, but your usury belongs to the federal government.
Yeah.
Trust me, a bank manager is nothing. A bank like Bank of America, that's a holding company. So they're not gonna run the risk of getting hit with a fine because you're a member of theirs. No, they're gonna turn you over to the guys. So there's no telling what was in Jay Morrison's bank account. But I guarantee you it was ludicrous. Guarantee you his daily exchange was ludicrous.
Yeah.
He put a flag on it. Like, what the hell?
What's he doing, man?
50,000 from. Now you pulled out 50,000. Where you getting to? You can't do that.
You moving shit around.
Wow.
No, you can't do that.
You flying too close to the sun, man.
So you saying that they pretty much anytime you make a withdrawal over 10,000 or any type of is flagged.
Man, anytime you withdraw, man, through Check 21. They see if that's the thing, man.
Check 21. Check 21.
Check 21 said, man, that's when checks became electronic. All transactions became electronic. So that literally, man, every transaction is tracked. Every transaction is tracked.
You know what? It's funny, man. You talk about Check 21. That's why banks started issuing debit cards. Because it was too expensive to print on microfiche paper, the actual routing and account number. So every time you swipe that debit card, Check 21. That's why it's best to open up a DBA account and do business as and set up your articles of organization, make someone else the CEO, you be the treasurer, you be something else, and you're the registered agent of that account because you got to protect your assets from liability. And that's why usually most people set up LLCs, LLPs, or S corps. Because all of them are FEs and they're funding institutions. It's all about pass-through taxation. You got to make sure that your pass-through taxation is proper because those taxes have to pass through and be administrated to somebody. And it's very hard to do it when you got an MLM disguised as a REIT. It just don't.
And that's really all it was, man. That's really all. That's really all it is, man. Yeah. Come on, man. It's rule and investing, man. You know, bulls. There's a couple rules, right? Bulls can make money, bears can make money, but hogs always get slaughtered. Second rule is small money is always wrong, man.
Ooh, man.
You can make money in the good market, you make money in the bad market, man. But if you're greedy, you're gonna get ate up, man.
Yeah, man. I feel bad for Jay.
No, small money is always wrong, man.
Yeah, man.
So what's the ultimate what's gonna end up happening? What do y'all foresee what I want to say, the culmination of this investigation? What do y'all see happening at the end?
A big ass fine, him getting shut down.
Yeah. Woo! Title 26.
You know what I'm saying? $2 million, $5 million fine.
Yep.
Something like that. You know.
How many? What?
$2 million, $5 million.
$2 million, $5 million fine.
Easy. Easy. And he gonna be faced, and he gonna have to pay restitution because he automatically facing 5 years.
Yep, automatically, man.
That come with
it. Depending on what state they're in.
Yes.
Because some states work differently, man. Some states, you know, the way real estate contracts are treated differently, man.
I think it was it's Tulsa, but he's in Georgia.
Yes, I don't know, man. You have an attorney you have a security attorney in Tulsa. I mean, in Oklahoma, and another one in Georgia.
Retainer. That's 30.
Well, he did hire a legal team. I heard. Obviously,
well, he out of $500,000 if he hired a team.
Yeah,
he out of $500,000.
That goes back to the management fees, man. That goes to management fees, man. So you have to think how many $500 licks did he have to hit in order to get to that? It's not sustainable with small money, man.
If you're gonna go, like if you're gonna deal with serious money, oh God, convert it to a bond, get the bond verified, and get backed by a bank. You know, when I talk to a lot of organizations, a lot of churches here in Chicago, you know, I've built 6 credit unions here in Chicago. And I've done it quietly. I don't want the publicity behind it. You know, build a credit union. Get your community involved. Each of them, you know, become members and have them give contributions on a quarterly basis. Make them shareholders. If you got a company, what he probably should have done is made those people shareholders.
Yeah.
He gave them percentages of the LLC because he got 51% majority. Split the 51% up. That way, each individual is responsible for their own taxes. I don't mess with REITs because I don't have the backing capital. If you're not Ray Kroc, man, chill out.
Yeah.
If you don't have
insurance company, man. You're not Allstate.
Wow. You don't got that. You ain't got that. And that's what Jay did. He probably had a couple million, and he figured, hey, we can pull it off. And you know, you got to be coherent that we are in the United States of America. The Patriot Act has really changed the free market in the United States. So you really have to know the climate. And it's just unfortunate, though. But you struck a nerve with that one because learning and going through financiering and finance, trust me, once you get burnt that one time, oh man, you become understanding.
Yeah, I didn't be toasted, man. I didn't sizzle.
So how much did y'all lose, man? How much did you lose? Or
350.
Yeah, I lost about 375.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah, man. 350 plus.
Yes, bro. I'll tell you this. Had I not been checked, I would have been retired already. Had I not been checked.
Right.
But it actually saved my life. Because if I wouldn't have been checked, I would have been able to get out of what I was in. Yeah, seriously.
Yeah.
Yeah, you got to, you know, I'm not one to go against what already works. You know, we get inundated with so many crazy things, sovereign movement, stuff that we don't really need to be bothered with, man. We don't, you know, Moorish nationality. We get hit with stuff, man. We just want to be part of something.
That's it, man. That's what's sad, man.
Yeah, and so
for the decision maker, man, the IQ.
Yeah, he needs some IQ work because that was retarded. I knew when he did it. When I saw the advertisement,
they doing Instagram shots and all that shit, man.
Okay, you got on Good Morning America, bro. You paid them to get on there. I mean, you got you a couple of little cribs over here in Philly. Don't play, man.
Leave it alone, man. Slow around your shit out, man.
Some people in Philly how to, get a crib or something, man. Pay their FHA off. But you can't set up no reading.
Open up some convenience stores, man. Look, buy you something like it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, you trying to set up a read in Oklahoma. I said, man, you might as well be in the Al Qaeda, bro. You might as well just.
Man.
Yeah. You can't do that, man. That's just what it is,
Rose, I got to go get a haircut, man.
Myself, Darren, Retel SEO, consultant. You can easily hire us. Get nothing.
Yeah.
You're going to pay, but hey, you're going to be all right.
You know what I'm saying? At the end of the day, man.
Real talk.
Yeah, good
comment. Oh, God. Look, why are we talking? Oh, God, no.
You know what I'm saying? For really.
One of the biggest hip hop, man. You don't do stuff like that in you.
Yeah, man. Really. Good as another, man. You're an entrepreneur. You've been an entrepreneur for a minute.
Man. That's like saying,
guy's a young gunner right there, boy.
Right. He's just being humble. But that would be a disrespect if Jay Morrison even approached you with shit like this. Like, you should just walk out.
Right.
Like, if Jay Morrison walked up to you and told you how to read, you should say, man, how dare you disrespect me?
Yeah, what's the bullshit, man?
Man.
And walk out as fast as you can.
You know who broke the story? Vlad TV broke the story.
Man, dude is a boy. Vlad is something else, man.
He on it.
Black folks love him. They just can't wait to go to Vlad.
Oh my! Oh, it gets on my nerves.
Hey, Vlad bust him out on his interview, didn't he? Didn't Vlad say he wouldn't even mess with his stuff?
Maybe he may have, yeah.
That Jay Morrison was sitting there with him, and Vlad literally said, "This is dumb."
Yeah,
like
dumb.
Man, yeah, because Vlad's into stocks and all that too. I heard he got something called Vlad stocks.
Yeah, I bet.
Yeah,
I bet, man. He's a Russian Jew, man. Yeah.
Oh yeah,
definitely.
I guarantee he got a ticker. You can believe that.
Yeah.
He's not playing though. That's he's a Jew.
Look how big he got, Darren. Hold on, let me show you.
Oh shit! I Am Legend.
Oh, sorry, boy. Look at
that. Dang. Dang. How old is he? What, like 4 months, 5 months?
Damn, man.
7 months.
7 months.
Yeah.
Is that the one you went and got?
Yeah, I got it from down Georgia. Yep. Come on.
Yeah.
Hey, boy.
Yeah. Where did you go in Georgia? Did you go to
I actually went to a black breeder.
Was that Big Boys guys from Outkast?
No, not
You know where in Georgia?
I know what you're talking about. It was called Conyers. I went to Conyers or something.
Yeah.
I know what you're talking about, though.
Yeah, I heard of Conyers.
Yeah.
That's going to be a big dog. That's going to be a big dog.
Oh, Mark
yeah.
Hey, y'all, I got to go get a cut, man.
All right, man.
He's finally in town, and I'm walking around here looking like a bandit.
I'm gonna holler at y'all later, though, man. That's a good conversation. I gotta post this one up, man. What channel is this on?
On mine, Darren Mary.
All right, cool.
Right on, Mike.
All right, man. I'll talk to y'all later.
All right, peace.